You took my money and vanished, his mother said, eyes cold with victory. So tell me why you are standing here now on a mega-yacht, with 3 children who carry my son's face. You were paid to disappear forever, his mother said, her voice low and sharp. Certain this moment would end the problem the way money always did. The woman in front of her did not argue. She did not raise her voice. She did not even blink. She simply stood there, calm as the sea behind her, with 3 small children at her side, and in that instant, the lie that had lived comfortably for years finally ran out of space. The harbor was full of light and movement. White stone docks, shining railings, people dressed in linen, and quiet confidence. Conversations flowed easily, the kind that only exist where money feels safe. Then the mega-yacht arrived, cutting through the water with slow authority. And everything changed. The yacht was massive, polished, unmistakable. It did not rush. It did not need to. The name painted on its side caught the sun and reflected it back into the crowd. People stopped walking. Voices softened. Phones lifted without anyone admitting why. On the upper deck stood a woman with her shoulders straight and her face calm. Her hair was pulled back, simple and neat. She wore no jewelry that demanded attention. Only a quiet strength that did not ask permission to exist. Her name was Leela Hart. At her side stood 3 children, close enough that their shoulders touched. 2 boys and 1 girl. Triplets. Small hands holding on to her as if she was the center of the world. Their clothes were simple but clean. Their eyes were bright, and their faces carried a truth that could not be edited or erased. They looked like him, Adrian. Ashford stood on the pier below, surrounded by people who smiled too easily and spoke too carefully. He was used to attention, used to control, used 2 rooms bending around his last name. But when his eyes lifted to the deck of that yacht, his breath left him without warning. Not because of the boat, because of her. Lila Hart had disappeared 3 years ago. No goodbye. No explanation. Just silence where her voice used to be. His mother told him she left because she wanted money more than love. That she was weak. That she was a mistake best forgotten. He believed it because believing it was easier than standing up to the woman who raised him. Now Leela stood in front of the world unafraid, holding 3 living truths by the hand. Beside Adrian, his mother, Vivian Ashford, stood perfectly still. Pearls rested at her throat. Her posture was flawless, her face calm, but her eyes hardened, because she understood before anyone else did. The problem had returned. Layla walked down the gangway slowly. The air smelled of salt and polished wood. The soft movement of the water echoed against the hull. Each step she took felt measured, steady, deliberate. The triplets followed close, their small steps careful, their trust placed fully in her. People watched in silence. No one spoke. No one interfered. Silence made the moment heavier, sharper. The little girl looked at Adrian first. Her head tilted slightly, curiosity open and innocent. "You are tall," she said softly. One of the boys studied Adrian's face with serious focus, as if trying to remember something he had always known. "You look like us." The 3rd child did not speak. He only held Leela's hand tighter and watched Adrian with wide, thoughtful eyes. Adrian felt the ground shift under his feet. Leela stopped a few steps away from him. Their eyes met. Hers were steady, tired, strong. Not angry, not proud. "Just finished with fear. These are my children," Layla said calmly. Then she paused, letting the truth breathe. "And they are yours." The words landed without noise, but they hit harder than any shout. Vivian stepped forward immediately, her practiced smile returning like armor. "We had an agreement." Layla turned her gaze to her. "Unshaken, you paid for silence. Not ownership, and not erasure." Vivian's eyes flicked to the children. Then back to Lila. "If you came for more money, we can handle that privately." Leela's voice stayed quiet, but every word carried weight. "If I wanted money, I would have called you years ago. I came because the truth does not stay buried forever." Adrian's chest tightened. His voice came out rough, uncertain. Why did you not tell me, Layla? Did not soften. She did not attack. She simply told the truth, because your mother made sure you never heard me. Because I was alone, pregnant, and being watched. Because survival was the only choice that kept them safe. Vivian's tone sharpened. Do not rewrite history. You took the money? Lila reached into her bag and pulled out an envelope. She held it out, steady, unshaking. Inside was the check, uncashed. Vivian stared at it, her certainty cracking for the first time. I never needed your money, Layla said evenly. I needed you to stop controlling my life. You never did. Adrian turned slowly to his mother. His voice was calm, but something final lived inside it. You lied to me? Vivian lifted her chin. I protected you. Adrian's reply was quiet. Clean and mobile. You protected your image. You stole my family. The people nearby felt the shift, even if they did not understand the words. Power moved without noise. The kind of power money could not command. Adrian lowered himself slightly, as he was not towering over the children. What are your names? The girl smiled. Mina won. The boy grinned. Jack. The quiet one whispered. Noah. Adrian repeated the names slowly, like he was afraid they would vanish again. His eyes burned. He did not hide it. He looked at Leela. Give me a chance. Leela studied him. Not with hope, but with memory. A chance is not a gift, she said. It is work, and if you fail them once, you lose them forever. Adrian nodded immediately. Then I will work. Every day. Vivian's voice broke through. Sharp and strained. You will destroy everything we built. Adrian finally looked at her, then it deserved a fall. Layla turned back toward the yacht. Guiding the triplets gently, we will talk tomorrow. Not here. Not in front of your audience? Adrian watched them leave, the weight of 3 lost years settling heavy on his chest. Mina waved once, polite and small. Jace looked curious. Noah leaned fully into Layla, trusting her without question. Vivian stood frozen beside Adrian, defeated not by anger but by truth. 3 years earlier, Leela Hart had been alone in a quiet office that smelled of leather and cold air. Vivian Ashford had slid the check across the table with a smile that never reached her eyes. Disappear forever. This will make everything easier. Layla remembered the feel of the paper under her fingers. The way her stomach turned as she thought of the 3 heartbeats inside her. She took the check not because she wanted it, but because she needed the pressure to stop. Because she needed time. Because she needed distance to protect lives that had not yet taken their first breath. She left the city that night. She moved quietly, changed numbers, took small jobs, slept lightly, watched doors, learned to live with fear without letting it own her. She gave birth to her children in a quiet hospital far from cameras and power. She held them against her chest and promised them safety, even when she did not yet know how she would keep it. She built a life piece by piece. Not rich, not easy, but honest. She learned to trust herself, to trust patience, to trust that truth had weight, even when delayed. The yacht was not revenge, it was proof. Layla had built something real, a network of quiet support. People who believed in her work, people who valued her integrity. The Mega-Yacht was not a threat. It was a statement she did not need to shout. Back at the harbor, the yacht pulled away slowly. The city reflected on the water like a dream that no longer owned her. Adrian stood still long after it was gone. For the first time in his life, he felt the cost of silence. The next day, they met privately. No crowd, no cameras. Just a quiet space filled with light and the soft sound of children playing nearby. Leela spoke plainly. About fear. About nights without sleep. About choosing safety over pride. Adrian listened without interrupting. Every word reshaped him. He did not defend himself. He did not excuse his absence. He accepted it. I cannot change the past, he said softly, but I can show up now. Leela's answer was steady, then show up without asking to be forgiven. Adrian did. He hired independent legal help. He cut off his mother's interference. He put everything in writing, clear and firm. Support, protection, boundaries, no secrecy. Vivian fought back, but power slipped through her hands. For the first time, money could not clean the truth away. Weeks passed. Then months. Adrian showed up quietly. School visits, doctor appointments, listening more than speaking, learning names, learning habits, learning how to sit on the floor and be patient. The triplets warmed slowly. Trust grew in small steps. Mina asked questions. Jace laughed easily. Noah watched closely, then nodded once, as if deciding Adrian was real. Leela remained careful. Strength had taught her not to rush peace. One evening, as the sun lowered and the water turned gold, Adrian stood beside Leela. Watching the children play, your mother thought money could erase you. Adrian said quietly. Leila did not look at him. She underestimated what a mother will do to protect her. Children, Adrian nodded, and I underestimated what silence can cost. Leila finally looked at the sea. She felt the wind, calm, the long road behind her. Some people think disappearing means losing, she said. Sometimes it means surviving long enough to return stronger. The truth had returned. Not with noise, not with revenge, but with dignity, patience, and 3 small lives that could not be denied.